Hi everyone, here's some of us heading your way. Tonight, your news at 9. Joplin police released more details of an armed robbery that happened over at North Park Mall's parking lot. Plus, why wearing a mask, health officials say, is still important in the fight against COVID-19.
On this Giving Tuesday, local nonprofits hope residents will be generous so they can continue to help people who need it the most. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
It's Toy Box Tuesday. I'm Kate Kelly with why an Iola family needs extra help putting presents under the tree this year. Their story coming up.
Nick Kelly has weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Obby. Joplin police released more details about an armed robbery that happened last night in the parking lot of the North Park Mall. Police say 3 of the 4 suspects held a couple at gunpoint and demanded their wallets before leaving in a car, which police later found heading north on Range Line. After a short chase, 3 suspects started running. 1 stayed in the car. However, the 3 suspects who ran were later caught. One of them was found hiding in a home laundry room. Police say 1 suspect is from Joplin. 3 suspects, including 1 juvenile, are from Danville, Illinois. Authorities have not yet filed formal charges. Police in Sarcoxie, Missouri are asking for your help after the Mizzou liquor store was burglarized. It happened on Saturday. Police say the person took out some anger issues, as we're seeing right there on the gaming machine. Got away with $100 to $200. Anyone who recognizes this person is being asked to call Sarcoxie police. Officials are still investigating the cause of a fire in Joplin that happened yesterday at 127 West 38th Street. Firefighters say they found a 3-story wood frame residential structure with heavy fire and smoke showing. The building appears to be a total loss. Thankfully, there were no injuries. Firefighters or civilians, officials say. Nick Kelly joining us now with our first look at weather. It's getting cold out, but you know what? It's also December 1st, so that's what we expect, right?
Absolutely, and we hope with our next storm system we expect some snow, so we continue with the December theme, but we'll get to those details in the moment as usual, Jobby. But for the recap today, we started out cold, certainly December-like with lower 20s this morning, a high of 57 degrees this afternoon. We've just seen partly to mostly cloudy skies work across the area this evening so far, ahead of our next storm system, getting ready to bring rain chances our way as soon as we get into our Wednesday. In the meantime, we're dry. But like you said, we're turning cold, upper 30s to lower 40s. I'm thinking upper 20s to lower 30s tonight. We'll break down the next few days, including rain and potential snow chances coming up in a bit, Jordan.
Nick Kelly, thank you so much. Jasper County Health Department is reporting 2 more deaths attributable to COVID-19. They were 2 men, both in their 80s. This brings the total number of Jasper County deaths attributed to COVID-19 to 77. As we enter into the 9th month of this pandemic, Mercy has joined 100 other hospital groups nationwide calling on people to mask up. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
As cases of coronavirus continue to rise in the nation, healthcare providers are calling on people to make sure they're wearing their masks. We spoke with Mercy's infection preventionist, Donna Stokes, about why it's so important to wear your mask.
Without my mask on, that is allowing my respiratory secretions to reach you, and you could acquire the virus.
Stokes says that's why it's important for everyone to mask up.
If I'm wearing a mask and you're wearing a mask, I'm protecting you from my respiratory secretions and vice versa. So it takes everyone wearing a mask to help prevent that spread.
Stokes says you can wear a cloth mask or a surgical mask.
Either one is going to contain my sneezing or coughing aerosolization. So if I have the virus and I sneeze or cough, my mask is collecting that so that it can't get to you.
Stokes says there's another reason it's important for everyone to wear their mask.
If you are not wearing your mask, your nose and mouth is vulnerable. If you're wearing your mask, your eyes are vulnerable. So that is the reason we're really asking everyone to wear a mask.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Stokes says it's also important to make sure you continue to wash those hands and to sanitize surfaces you touch or share with others. After a year of increased need but decreased opportunity for fundraising, local nonprofits are hoping for big support this Giving Tuesday. KOAM's Zach Dodge has this story.
Blake Hickman lost his job at Lazy Boy a few months ago, laid off during the pandemic.
I actually had the virus myself, and one of my daughters had it as well, and we was on quarantine for a little while, and it's just been, everything's been a mess.
So he's had a hard time putting food on the table, finding himself at Cross Lines Ministries.
A little bit goes a long way, you know, and they graciously gave, you know, an entire cart of food.
And over the last couple of months, people like Hickman have become all too common at the food bank.
We had a particular day where over 220 people came into Cross Lines needing help, which is a record for us. So, yeah, and we continue to see, you know, as many as 40% of people that come into Cross Lines right now are people that have never been here.
So on Giving Tuesday, they hope residents will give generously so they can continue to help people in need. A sentiment the Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri shares as they continue to help kids get a hot meal and even a place to study while they take virtual classes.
We're not able to do a lot of the fundraising that we would normally do. The Giving Tuesday will hopefully help with some of the stuff that we're lacking.
Both charities have received some donations, making it easy to give online. But with millions of dollars being given, the Better Business Bureau says you should do some research on a charity, read the charity's website, and check the BBB's website to make sure your money's going where you want it to.
Just make sure that your heart is in the right place and your money is going where your heart is.
In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
There's been more than $1 billion given to nonprofits worldwide on Giving Tuesday since the event started back in 2012. When tragedy struck an Iola, Kansas family's home just before Christmas, the community came together to make sure the holidays stayed merry. It's been nearly a year and that family is getting back on their feet, but they could still use some help putting some presents under the tree. KOAM's Kate Kelly shares their story.
About this same time last year, lightning struck in Iola, burning Chantel Trester's home to the ground. Even though her family lost everything, they've remained optimistic.
Oh, it's been hard, but fun at the same time. Makes it easier to get Christmas and more excuses to buy stuff for them.
Trester says the community rallied around her then, and they're doing it again with help from the First Baptist Church and KOAM's Toy Box. For the past 7 years, she's counted on the program to help buy presents for her 3 children, 9-year-old Jacob, 7-year-old Nicholas Jr., and little Ezra, who just turned 3.
It helps with gifts from Santa. Everything that comes from them, I put from Santa since we don't know who it's from. And it is a secret Santa to them. I don't know what's in there, and I don't take any credit for it. So it helps me buy them more gifts from me.
Trester says Jacob's disability sometimes makes him hard to understand, but he's pretty clear about his love for the holidays.
Christmas all about it.
You're all about it?
This year, the Iola Police Department will be helping out the Tresters, distributing toys with help from the KOAM Toy Box. This mom has a message for her community and all the people who will make Christmas possible in her new home.
Thank you to First Baptist Church and the Iola Police Department for making the Toy Box possible.
Making Christmas merrier in Iola, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
Chantel says her kids keep her busy, and she's not normally a morning person, but on Christmas Day she is. That's because she loves seeing the smiles on her kids' faces. Just a reminder, KOAM's annual Toy Box campaign is underway. First Tuesday telethon was today, with phones being answered by folks over at Peerless Products in Fort Scott, Kansas. As part of the campaign each year, we ask for donations of toys and money to buy toys to give to area kids in need. All of your donations can stay in the county you live in. You can find a list of toy drop-off locations on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. You can donate by phone during our next Toy Box Tuesday telethon. That's on the 8th, December 8th. Before they were taking your calls, the folks over at Peerless put your dollars to work with a shopping trip at the Fort Scott Walmart. One of the volunteers says he's happy to help out.
It's been fun. I wanted to do it last year and didn't get a chance to, and so I volunteered this year, and so we just finished telethon, and it was just a great time. And now being able to do the shopping, it just kind of tops it all off.
This is just one way that Toy Box works. Again, you can call in during our Tuesday telethons on the KOAM News at noon, 5, and 6, and donate money, and we'll do the shopping for you. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time. to honor one of our four-state heroes. Walter Rarick served in the U.S. Army during World War II, taking part in the Battle of the Bulge and several other battles along the Rhine River. We are proud to thank Private First Class Walter Rarick, a native of Paola, Kansas. He's tonight's four-state hero. Nick is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later in sports, the Webb City girls are gearing up for the season and another shot at their first district title.
Even though we enjoyed a quiet Tuesday, a lot to get to, so let's just dive right in. First, you're seeing a time-lapse from Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri. It's a beautiful Tuesday, and that certainly helped us out with temperatures, with a good southeast breeze at about 5 to 15 during the day. Certainly warmer than yesterday for sure. Lower 20s this morning. But look at how Joplin Regional catapulted into the upper 50s. A high today of 57. Definitely trending cooler tomorrow with our next storm system out west ready to roll on in. In the meantime, we're just seeing cloud cover coming and going across the region, but it's leaving us cool in Joplin at 42. Feels like 38 with the southeast breeze at 7 miles per hour. Everyone's dropping back mainly into the upper 30s and lower 40s as we head into the late night hours. At the very least, we have that southeast breeze still in place. It's not as strong as it was during the day at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now, between 5 and 10. Still, a breeze just strong enough, and with more cloud cover on the way, to keep lows tonight in the upper 20s and the lower 30s. Again, though, the cloud cover that we saw come and go this evening so far, there's more of where that came from, though, as our next system continues to ramp up out to the west. You can see some higher elevation snow out across parts of Colorado and New Mexico. Two parts to this next storm system on the way. First, this frontal system to the west. That's ready to head our way and bring in some cooler air for the system to work with. But the brunt of the system, the part of the system that will do mainly the heavy lifting, it's this pair of upper lows. But mainly this upper low, let's say right along the Colorado-New Mexico line. That's going to provide the lift, the moisture, and the energy to bring in the rain chances starting tomorrow. And at times, if we can get cold enough in some spots, maybe a bit of a rain-snow mix. So let's time out the next few days with the future track. We're just going to see the cloud cover come and go throughout the course of the night. Thankfully, we stayed dry during the overnight and to start your Wednesday morning out. And again, this helps us keep lows at least a little bit better than where we were this morning. Still cold, though. Upper 20s to lower 30s to start your Wednesday morning out. There is a slim chance we could see a few showers try to sneak in during the morning hours, but I really think the rain chances really start to press in once we get into the afternoon. And we'll certainly take it because temperatures will be warm enough for this to begin as rain with the system working in. 32 in the morning, 43 by noon, afternoon highs around 47. Let's continue on in the Wednesday evening. As temperatures drop back into the mid to upper 30s, we will see some pockets of a rain-snow mix start to filter in here, but we're just going to be hovering mainly in the mid-30s, lower to middle 30s through Thursday morning, so this could be conducive of a rain-snow mix. But as we go back into the lower 40s on Thursday, this system will wind down as departing rain chances. Unfortunately, if you're a snow lover, not a lot of accumulating snow with this. So minor accumulations on the grassy surfaces, maybe half an inch or less at best. If anything, we're just going to get more rain out of this. With the quick look at the rain tracker showing half an inch up to maybe an inch before the system clears out by Thursday and leaving us in better shape for Friday with 47 degrees and partly sunny skies. Upper 40s and lower 50s with mostly sunny skies for the rest of the weekend and staying quiet going into early next week, Jordan. So at least we're looking at a great weekend. We just got to get past this next system on the way in.
Yeah, you're right about those chilly nights and mornings. Nick Kelly, thank you so much. Just a reminder to tune in tomorrow to catch Doug Heddy's winter forecast. Which camera am I looking at? Suddenly, it's weird. I couldn't tell which camera I was looking at. Ian, thank you. Just a reminder to catch Doug Heddy's winter forecast, as well as his month-long forecast for December tomorrow. Coming up, preparing for the lights at the end of this tunnel.
States make plans to distribute a COVID-19 vaccine while some hospitals near capacity. I'm Casey Stiegel at a testing site in Texas. We've got the latest coming up.
More than 268,000 coronavirus fatalities have now been reported nationwide. This comes as we learn more about who could receive a vaccine first and when. Fox News correspondent Casey Stiegel has more.
CDC advisors holding a formal vote today on which groups should be first to get a vaccine. Phase 1 is expected to include healthcare workers and residents of long-term care facilities. Governors will then have the final say as to how they will distribute a vaccine. By Friday, states must submit details to the federal government, laying out where they want the shipments to be delivered.
States tend to follow what CDC puts forward because it's a very representative body. It's a very transparent process as they move forward.
Meanwhile, the CDC says the weekly hospitalization rate is at its highest point in the pandemic. The surge is devastating rural hospitals. One Missouri doctor says his facility has been forced to decide which patients they can take in.
I can't deal with those patients that need me when they come in with acute heart failure or patients that have injuries. We don't have staffing for it.
California officials warn the state's intensive care units could exceed capacity by mid-December. In Los Angeles, a new stay-at-home order took effect. That's in addition to a city ban on outdoor dining that took effect last week. And now many restaurant owners are pushing back.
I feel like there are other places that are allowed to be open right now that people have just as much exposure, if not more, than we do here.
Federal and state officials plan on meeting at the White House next Tuesday to further discuss vaccine distribution. That's the latest from Dallas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Just ahead, the future economy.
President-elect Joe Biden announcing his picks for his economic team. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. I'll have reaction to those names coming up.
President-elect Joe Biden is rolling out more names of those he wants to serve in his cabinet. Mr. Biden naming those who will help his administration form economic policy during this pandemic. But just because he's nominating them doesn't mean they'll make it through Senate confirmation. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard has more from D.C.
Today, I have the pleasure of announcing key nominations and appointments for the critical economic positions in the administration.
President-elect Joe Biden formally announced his picks to run America's economy for at least the beginning of his administration. Names familiar to many. Janet Yellen as Treasury Secretary nominee. She will have a large role in helping the U.S. dig out of the pandemic economy.
We will find collective purpose to control the pandemic and build our economy back better than before.
Then Cecilia Rouse for the Council of Economic Advisors and Neera Tanden for the Office of Management and Budget.
I believe so strongly that our government is meant to serve all the American people.
Moderate Democrats fairly happy with the choices, progressives less so. However, for Deputy Treasury Secretary, Biden tapping Wally Adeyemo.
Senator Warren really likes you. She highly recommended you.
And when it comes to Senate confirmation, Tanden in particular could face trouble with the GOP.
You've got a candidate here who doesn't seem to be able to unify anybody, nobody on the right and also the left. I think it's going to be very hard for her to get through this, especially if Republicans hold the Senate.
Plus, Georgia's runoff elections are not until January 5th, so there's still a month to go until we have an idea of which party will control the Senate.
The Senate committees should prepare to hold hearings on President-elect Biden's nominees in January, immediately after the Georgia elections.
Plus, Fox confirms the Biden transition team has made contact with top coronavirus task force members, Dr. Anthony Fauci and Dr. Deborah Birx. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Turned out to be a joyful Cyber Monday for many retailers. One, in fact, for the history books. Going to look over the numbers when we come back. All right, so it's Tuesday. This year's Cyber Monday, looking back on Monday, was the largest online shopping day in U.S. history. Shoppers clicked their way to more than $10 billion in sales. That's according to Adobe Analytics. That's an uptick of 15% compared to last year. Now, analysts say the surge in traffic came during the final hours of the shopping day. And keep that in mind, the final hours when consumers collectively spent $2.7 billion, accounting for 25% of the whole day's revenue. Nearly 40% of consumers made their late night purchases on mobile devices. What's that called? Ian and I, he saved me earlier with the camera thing. Ian and I were talking about impulse buying, how it's a dangerous thing. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
The Miami Good Neighbor Project, who has helped serve hundreds in the community over the past couple months, has come to a halt due to new USDA restrictions. We speak with the organizers and the Salvation Army in Miami on how they're stepping up to help. I'm Caitlin Shive. That's coming up.
Plus, how grant money will help substance abuse patients get back on the right track. One woman is using Giving Tuesday to make sure nursing home residents know they're loved during this pandemic. Plus, a special tree lighting ceremony to honor friends and family who recently passed away. This summer, Miami Mayor Bless Parker started the Good Neighbor Project to help people in need during the pandemic. The project has been partnering with the USDA through their Farmers to Families Food Box program. But with recent new restrictions in place, the project has come to a halt. KOM's Caitlin Shive has more.
The Miami Good Neighbor Project has served thousands of people in need since March through the USDA's Farmers to Families Food Box program. But with new restrictions to the program and a reduction in delivery sites, the Good Neighbor Project has closed its doors for now.
For whatever reason, we did not get picked up for phase 4. We went from about 10 shipments a week down to 1 at the end of phase 3. And then phase 4 started. We applied. We did not get approved because there's only one shipper in the state of Oklahoma. He's actually in Texas.
The sudden halt of the project was not something they expected.
We had a lot of people that went to bat for us, that went directly to the USDA, said, hey, this is the place we want to ship to, but they got turned down. So it was pretty frustrating for us.
Aldridge says they are going to do what they can to get things running again.
We'll go back to building food boxes and get them out to the people that need it, in the hopes that phase 5 comes up, we'll be picked up so we can get back doing what we've been doing.
For now, the Salvation Army in Miami is stepping up to help.
Good Neighbor Project fulfilled a need in the community that was new because of COVID. The Good Neighbor Project provided us with extra groceries as well. Like we got some milk from them, and we received some of their chicken and things like that. So they kind of supplemented, they were a good supplement for even what we were doing.
Since the Good Neighbor Project has stopped operations, the Salvation Army has seen an influx in demand at their food bank.
To me, it's super important that we can try to meet those needs of, those simple needs of hunger, warmth, whatever that looks like, so that together as a community we're more healthy and there's hope for them too.
It's all about feeding the people right now, and especially with COVID. There's a massive need out there that's just not being filled right now.
In Miami, Caitlin Shive, KOAM News.
Good Neighbor Project is currently working on reconstructing its warehouse for better operations, to possibly get back into the Farmers to Families Food Box program. A $4 million grant is going to the Ozark Center's Recovery Up program. It's an outpatient treatment program that helps people in treatment courts or those who have been released from a mental health facility to outpatient commitment. The grant money is coming from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration.
So we can actually serve those that often are in and out of the hospitalizations and courts. We're just trying to help them be as successful as possible.
Recovery Up will serve up to 25 people each year, ages 18 and older. Well, today is Giving Tuesday, and one person, Valerie Weaver, is one of many people showing an example of what the day is all about. Many nursing home residents have been especially lonely during this pandemic, right? Well, $4,500 worth of books was distributed through nursing homes in Girard, Kansas, thanks to Weaver. 84 residents received their own package of books, including some activities.
Keeping your mind active, and coloring is a great soothing technique, and so Usborne has a whole bunch of amazing activity books that I thought they could really use during the pandemic to keep themselves active and keep the dementia a little bit at bay.
Money for these books came from donations from area organizations, also individuals. The Economic Security Corporation, says it's received CARES Act funding. The ESC says the money will be used to help Southwest Missouri residents get through this pandemic by funding minor home repairs, rent and mortgage assistance, and furnace repairs and replacements. The money will also be used to fund certain employment services offered by the ESC. Officials say if you need help, just reach out to their office.
So many guidelines and rules that it gets very confusing for everyone trying to figure out, well, which one do I qualify? That's what we do, and we'd rather you call us and check in with us and let us figure it out.
Economic Security Corporation serves Barton, Jasper, Newton, and McDonald counties in Missouri. Special day for residents and workers of the Solace House of the Ozarks in Joplin. They held a tree lighting ceremony today. You can either watch it in person while wearing a mask or social distancing, or through Facebook Live. The group sang Silent Night and lit candles to honor those who passed away this year.
This is our first year to actually also get to memorialize those that have been able to stay here at the house. And we do plan to make this an annual tradition.
Solace House provides 24-hour care to people who are in their last month of life. A bit later, another round of coronavirus relief talks.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers introduced a $900 billion coronavirus relief package. I'm Ray Bogan with a look at their effort to get something passed before Christmas, coming up.
Hopefully everybody had a good chance to enjoy a mostly sunny and nice Tuesday. We saw plenty of that from start to finish. From indigo sky just outside of Tenneco, Missouri, and in fact all across the area. That's what allowed us to go into the upper 50s for afternoon highs. And again, hopefully you enjoyed it, because we're definitely turning cooler with our next storm system ready to roll on in from the west. Right now, 42 in Joplin with quiet skies up top. It feels like 38, though, with the southeast breeze at 7 miles per hour. Everyone, though, is mainly in the upper 30s to lower 40s as we get closer to the top of the 10 o'clock hour. Thankfully, though, we're not going to turn quite as cold as we did this morning, though, because of that south breeze that's still in place. I say south, it's turning a bit more south usually, but still, it's a 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze, along with some more cloud cover that'll work in overnight. We'll only drop back into the upper 20s and lower 30s, so a bit better compared to how we started this morning. But all that cloud cover that we saw pass on through this evening so far, there's more where that came from, with our next storm system still getting us back together out west. At the surface, we have the frontal boundary to the west that'll start heading our way, setting the stage for some at least cooler air to work in. But upstairs, this is where the storm system will do most of the heavy lifting. We have the upper level moisture, lift, and energy ready to work in from the west, especially with this upper low across the Colorado-New Mexico border. That's what's going to change our weather up for the next few days. So let's break it down with the future track. We'll continue with partly to mostly cloudy skies through the rest of the night. And as you see, temperatures with that and the southeast breeze in play, we only drop back into the upper 20s to lower 30s. Still doesn't change the fact that it's going to be a cold start for Wednesday. The future track wants to continue to hint at some showers trying to pick up late in the morning, but I really think our rain chances really pick up during the afternoon. And we're better for it, because that means with temperatures in the 40s, this system start things out as rain. So 32 in the morning, 43 by noon. We'll say afternoon highs around 47 degrees. Then the focus will turn to Wednesday evening, going into Thursday morning. As we go into the late night, temperatures will drop back into the upper 30s. Most of us will drop back into the mid 30s during the overnight going into Thursday, but some of you will be cold enough for some of this to turn into a rain-snow mix. Certainly it'll be cold enough upstairs for it to come down as snow first, but we'll keep an eye on this rain-snow mix to start Thursday morning out before this tapers off as departing rain chances for your Thursday afternoon. Unfortunately, if you're snow lovers, the best we see snow-wise with this system, grassy accumulations, maybe half an inch at best, but not looking at very minor accumulations. We'll get mainly rain out of this, with anyone fair game to go from half an inch to an inch of rain before the system clears out. In fact, a quick look at the jet stream setup shows once the system clears out on Thursday, look at Friday and going into the weekend, we will be seeing nothing in terms of storm systems heading our way. So that means after we deal with 47 tomorrow and 42 on Thursday with the clouds, the rain, and snow chances, we're quiet through the weekend and going into next week, staying cool and chilly, bouncing between the upper 40s and middle 50s, Jordan.
Just a little bit of snow. Just a little bit, right?
A little bit, but this will be the only chance for snow, though, for this coming winter. Just another reminder, if you don't mind, Doug has the month-long and the winter forecast at this time tomorrow night.
Nick Kelly, thank you so much as always. Coming up in sports, Joplin and Carl Junction facing off in the Carl Junction Classic Basketball Tournament. Plus, Webb City girls aiming to return to the top of the district this winter. Going to hear from the team next.
Tonight is semifinal night at the CJ Classic Basketball Tournament in Carl Junction. And the first semifinal matchup of the night, it's a pair of COC teams. Neosho taking on Nixa. Wildcats 3-0 coming into this one. And Nixa kicks off the scoring. Brianna Gibbons there going off the glass. Then it's going to be intercepted by Macy Conway. She goes the other way, finishes with the left. Nixa up 4. Later in the first, 3 from Katie Kames puts Nixa up 9-0. We'll go to the second. Neosho would respond. Bank shot here goes for Reagan McInturf. Wildcats, though, still trailing by 11. Late in the second, jumper off the rebound from Adela Weaver puts Nixa up by 19. To the third, Nixa would go on ahead and pull away. Easy lay in there. Eagles moving on to the CJ Classic Championship. They beat Neosho 73-21. Other side of the bracket, 2 more conference rivals. Joplin faces tournament host Carl Junction. Early on, CJ kicks off the scoring. That's Jessa Hilton knocking down the 3 ball. Then Kylie Scott takes the pass. Nobody there to defend her. She drops it in. Dogs up 5. Then Joplin responds. It's Emma Floyd down low, turning and scoring with the left. Bryn Driver there. Deep ball goes for Joplin. We're tied up. Later in the first, Scott driving, gets it to go. Bulldogs lead 3. This one actually still going. CJ currently leads 29-11. The Webb City girls will open up the season tomorrow night playing in the Carthage Invitational. And with a healthy roster and plenty of returning experience, the Cards are hoping this season can be the one where this senior class gets over the hump and earns its first district title. JD Duda is tired of finishing in second place.
It bothers me. I'm ready to win districts this year, and we've been working hard. I know it's something that us seniors have strived for.
Duda is a senior and an all-conference player for the Webb City program. The last 3 years, she's had to watch Carl Junction lift the district championship trophy, with the Cardinals finishing as the runner-up each time.
It motivates me a lot. I want to go out and win.
Words can't even describe how bad we want it. We're here to win, to get that not runner-up, first place district title.
Last 3 years we've been right there and haven't been able to get over the hump. And it's definitely something that motivates me as a coach, as a competitor.
We're really excited this year. We feel like we have a good chance to win even more than we have lately.
Webb City returns 4 starters this season, including Duda and fellow all-district selection Sierra Kimbrough.
They bring several years of playing experience back, and they kind of understand what we as coaches expect out of them and what we expect out of our teams. So we're expecting a lot of leadership out of both of them this year.
We feel really good. We're pretty confident this year, not in just ourselves, but in our whole team. Us as a duo and us as a whole group collectively are going to make sure we win and do what we have to do in order to do so.
They're also getting healthy, with 5'10" junior Josie Spikerite returning after missing all of last season.
She's back and she's been working hard and doing a good job. Kinsey Robbins coming off of her second ACL surgery. We're going to kind of ease her back into things, but we're looking for good things out of her too. And then, like I said, we got some other juniors and a couple sophomores and freshmen that we think will step in and play some valuable minutes for us.
While it's just game 1 on Wednesday, the Cardinals are beginning the season with the end in mind.
I want to be a part of a team where everybody knows what we did. I want our team to let everybody know we're here and we are Webb City. That's what we say around here. We want to make sure everybody knows what that saying means.
Webb City will open up the season against Miller tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at Carthage High School. Finally, a couple of college basketball heavyweights going at it tonight. KU playing Kentucky. That one at halftime right now. Hawks down by 6, 35-29. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
President-elect Joe Biden is calling on Congress to pass an interim relief package as some lawmakers announced they have a bipartisan one. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan has the story.
Pressure is mounting on House and Senate leadership to shepherd a coronavirus relief package through Congress after lawmakers introduced a $908 billion bipartisan deal with support from both chambers.
Republicans and Democrats, neither of us got everything we wanted. Both of us got much of what we wanted.
The package includes $160 billion for state and local governments, $180 billion for additional unemployment insurance, $288 billion for small businesses, including the Paycheck Protection Program, and $25 billion for rental housing assistance. If passed, the funding will last 4 months.
It would be stupidity on steroids if Congress left for Christmas without doing an interim package.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer have sent him their own proposal. But whatever Congress passes, the president needs to sign into law. McConnell says he told lawmakers what the president is willing to support so they can take it into consideration.
We don't have time for messaging games. We don't have time for lengthy negotiations. The issue is, do we want to get a result?
President-elect Joe Biden also expressed support for legislative relief.
The full Congress should come together and pass a robust package for relief to address these urgent needs.
Biden says any legislation that's passed during the lame duck session would be interim, and that his transition team is already developing proposals for when he takes office. Ray Bogan, Fox News.
Check out some new Christmas album releases when we come back. Several music artists are getting some extra festivity this holiday season with some new Christmas music, as well as adding their own spin to classic tunes. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the story.
5 golden rings. 'Tis the season to turn up the Christmas carols, and there is plenty of new music to add to your holiday playlist. Cuddle up and cozy down. Country legend Dolly Parton offers her first Christmas album in 30 years, A Holly Dolly Christmas.
I had a chance to write some new and original songs, and I did some classics, of course. Then I brought in some wonderful duet partners like Michael Bublé and Jimmy Fallon, Miley Cyrus, Billy Ray Cyrus, Willie Nelson.
I've always wanted to make a Christmas album. Award-winning country singer Carrie Underwood unwraps her first Christmas album, My Gift. The record is a mix of traditional holiday classics and original songs, featuring a special appearance by Underwood's 5-year-old son, Isaiah Fisher, on Little Drummer Boy, as well as a duet with EGOT winner John Legend on the track Hallelujah. It's a celebration. Pop singer Meghan Trainor also makes her Christmas album debut with A Very Trainor Christmas. The record features a mix of holiday classics and 6 original songs, including her collaboration with Earth, Wind & Fire on Holidays.
I think this year we all need extra joy and cheer in any way we can get it. So this was a perfect year, I thought.
This is Christmas. Also putting a stamp on the Yuletide season for the first time is rock group Goo Goo Dolls with It's Christmas All Over. Grammy and Tony-winning singer Leslie Odom Jr. croons on the Christmas album. And Grammy-winning singer Tori Kelly gets festive with A Tori Kelly Christmas. On the 9th day of Christmas. And Pentatonix continues its tradition of spreading festive cheer with their 6th holiday album, We Need a Little Christmas. And a partridge in a pear tree. Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with Fort Scott's annual Christmas parade. Happened in downtown earlier this evening. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.